Alright, so I'm going to be putting a new wick inside of this lantern that I have right here. And here's the new wick that I'm going to be using. Going to unspool that a little bit. It's pinned together by a small pin. Put that to the side. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lift this up right here. And lift it up by doing that. And it locks into place if you can get it there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the old one out. Just go ahead and pull. Let's see, that's how much was left in this one. And now I'm going to put the new one in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and kind of thread this down into the loop, and then it's going to catch, and then I'm going to spin this, and it will get it in place. Just going to see where it is first. You have to kind of get really down in there to see what's going on. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the thread. Or if you want, does this top screw off? I don't think it does. So I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to try to thread this in here. And an easy way to do it is to coming right here and then making a slant cut right here, 45-degree angle. And doing this gets rid of the frays, and it gets a sharp, pointy area so you can pinpoint and perhaps get it into the hole a little bit easier. Go ahead and put this in here. Go ahead and try it. Now this is a little challenging, especially if you have large hands like I do, to get it down in there, but once you get it, you got it. It's just getting it in there initially is the issue. And if you're still trying to get it out or put it in, you can just simply read the instructions and just pull this out right here. Simple enough. And then you can just go ahead and put it through the bottom of this, or top. Gonna go ahead and do what I did before, angle. Then I'm going to go ahead and press this in here. And once I have it in here like lined up, I'm just gonna simply go ahead, try to catch it. Just thread it through is pretty much what I'm doing. Threading it through. And if you get a lot of frays on here, make sure the gasket stays on. Looks like the gasket came off a little bit. Just gonna, I think this came on that way. Here it goes. Like that. Just gonna go ahead and put this through here. Let's see if I can get this going like this. Maybe make it a little bit thinner. And then go ahead and press it in here. Thread it through here. Voila. There we go. So threaded it through here. I'm just going to pull up on it. I'm just going to wind it through. And then this part is supposed to go down in there. Now, it's up to you how much of the thread goes down actually inside of here. So I'm just pull this up right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and unspool this. And I'm not going to put the whole thing in there, but I'll put a good amount inside of that. So what I'll do with this, I said I'm not going to put the whole thing in there. Keep my word. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just put this down in here. Now, there is some fluid left over in there, and it's going to get absorbed by the wick. And I'll just add a little bit more fluid inside of the lantern once I put this all in there. Just going to keep on winding it. Putting it in. And this all should fit in there. If not, I could make some adjustments. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in there. Now I know there's a better way of putting it in here so it's more orderly, but this should be fine because this is a huge spool of wick. It's not a Bobby spool of wick. It's not John Wick. It's not the Wick at which of the West or the North. So once it's in there, it has a lot of it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this into place. I'm going to spool this in reverse just so it's enough to be lit. And what I like to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the paraffin lamp oil on this part of the wick. So it takes time for the oil to work its way up to the wick. And this is all, I would say, called priming it. So put a little bit on the wick. Put a little bit on down there. Make sure you don't spill this. If you spill it, wipe it up. And this is just priming the wick that I have right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this back into place. Make sure that this is on that side. And then you have to make sure that the wick goes through the top of that. So that's going to be a little bit tricky because I didn't plan ahead for that. Just make sure it goes through there. And then put that all in there. And I'm going to put this back into place. And so if you see right here, it slides into the slots. You spin it. Like that. Probably should be the other way around. So I'm going to spin it this way because there's slots this way. And let's see if that works. That works. All right. So you have the wick in there, and I'm going to try to go ahead and light this to see this in action right here. And then I can adjust it once get going in here. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. It's important to cap the paraffin lamp oil. That's what I'm using, Firefly Simply Pure paraffin lamp oil, and put this out of the way. Okay, far out of the way. Make sure you clean up any and all of the paraffin oil that may have spilled out. And you can see in here, there's none left in here. A lot of it hopefully absorbed by the cloth. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some back in here, and it says not to fill above the line. I'm not going to do that. Looks like some's dripping out. Make sure the cap is on tightly. Okay. Some caps, napkins to wipe up some of the stuff. You want to make sure this is all the way up before lighting it, because you don't want to start a forest fire or anything like that. I'm not doing it because this is just a video, but when you're doing it at home, make sure you do it. Alright, so I'm just putting this in here. And occasionally, I will check, see how much is in there. There's enough in there now. Just going to put the cap on the wax. That away. Cleaned all this up. Make sure you clean all this up before you start handling it. And put this back on there. This is like the gas cap, fuel cap, or the lamp oil cap, whatever you want to call it. Put that on. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, get all this off. Make sure you get any excess off. Then I'm just going to raise this up and the wick's probably too long. I'm just going to go ahead and set this down. Just make the wick a little bit smaller or lower. It'll work its way down. And I just lit it. And so we have a lantern going on right here. Hope this video was entertaining, because it was kind of flawed. And you should probably read the instructions manual before you do this yourself on both the paraffin wax, the wick, and the lantern itself, because this was not a good DIY. They stumbled quite a bit to go back and review and see what I did wrong, what I did right. But at least it's lit. For now. Hope this video has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching.